How's it going today, tubers? Alright, well, this is going to be today's project. I bought this machete, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and it used to just, I keep it on the side of my four-wheeler for, you know, cleaning any quick brush out of the way. And I think I paid, I don't know, $29 at Canadian Tire for this. When I straight out of the package, it's a joke. It was so dull that it ended up getting thrown in the bottom of a toolbox, and it sat there for a while, and of course it had some moisture in there, and it just the whole blade started to rust and all of that. So it's time to actually, because the steel's not too bad on it, it's obviously just stamped, you know, nothing pretty, but I'm gonna take this cheap plastic handle off here, and I'm gonna make a new handle for it. And I'm gonna try, I've got some hardwood flooring here, so this stuff is ash, so I'm gonna try to cut out some new handles for it here out of this, and we'll get it all smoothed out, and I'll be able to use this as a trace too. So first thing to do is going to be to get this old handle off here. We're going to have to take some steel wool and really get this blade cleaned up again. And once I get it all nice now, I'll make sure I take care of it, and I'll actually get some good use out of it. So just need to run that under the water there, get that cleaned up a little bit, the sheath. But it does have a nice sheath for it too, which is nice. So need a Phillips to get this apart. If I can find one here. Kind of a big one, but hey. So it's got some little screws in the handle. There we go. So there's the handle. It's quite crappy, to say the least. It's just plastic. You know, it doesn't even feel good on the hand when you're swinging it. So I'm gonna revamp it. Probably make the handle a little bit longer, and put a bit of a fawn's foot on it, so when you're swinging, it doesn't slide out of your hand. And you can see on this one, they kind of did put one here, but you hold that, like I've got big hands, and you put your whole hand in there, like my pinky's over that bottom part there, and you start swinging that wears right here on your hand. So anyways, that's that apart. That's the blade there. Look at how rusted it is under there. I'll have to really get that all cleaned up. So I'm going to work on getting it cleaned up here, and I got to go in and grab some steel wool, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I got a box of different steel wool here. I got some rough stuff. I'm going to use the coarse stuff here first. And I'm not going to be able to get all of it off, even though a lot of it is just surface rust, but it's starting to pit the metal a bit. And as you can see, it does still have all the pits in it. I'll never get it back to the way it was without, you know, really taking a lot off the metal, which isn't necessary. It'll have a nice sharp edge on it. So I just want to spend a little more time here getting it cleaned up with the finer steel wool too. That'll help get it a little bit more cleaned up. So I'll do that, and then we'll start laying out for the handle, and we'll go from there. So okay, so now that I got that cleaned up, I'm going to take my handles, the originals, and I'm going to place them on here. I'm going to take my pencil. Parts of the handle are okay, so I'm just going to take the part that I like, which is this shape, and then I'm going to extend it down. It's hard, you guys can probably not even see that. So I'm going to extend my handle this on here and it'll make it a little easier to explain. So I'm going to continue. Mine is going to come out like this with a palm smell, or a palm swell, sorry. Alright. Okay, so see if you can see that. That's the shape of the handle. So now it's going to come down with a palm swell. So when you hold on to it, it's going to be a lot more comfortable on my hand. So I'll get one cut out. I'm going to use a series of different things to get this cleaned up. So I think I need to go in and get my jigsaw. But I'll probably use a jigsaw for part of it, and then parts of it are going to be done on the sander, and I can cut off part on the saw here. So I'll get it trimmed down, and then we'll kind of go from there. Alright, so now I got the basic layout cut out between the saw. Like I think I used the jigsaw to cut this part, and then I used the miter saw to cut that one and this one. So now we'll go to the sander and we'll get it kind of rounded out how we want it, and then we can get the other one cut, and then we got to lay them out and get all the holes drilled, and then we'll work the contours so that it's more round like a handle. So alright, well there's our basic shape. Obviously it needs to be all knocked down and rounded off, and we'll probably I probably could just use a sander, but I'll probably knock off a bit first with the hand plane, just to it gets rid of a little bit less sawdust in here. And I don't have my my shop vac hooked up to that right now, so that's the next thing I got to do too. So anyways, there's one done. I'll get the next one made, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so what I did was I took, they're like little bolts, so I got 4 there, and then there's the nuts on the outside, and they are a little bit long, but they'll be flush actually when I put the blade in between here. So now that I've got them together, I'm just gonna make sure everything is all nice and flat, and then we'll kind of go from there. Now that I'm getting everything nice and smooth now, okay, so the next thing to do here is to start knocking down all these corners, and you know, I used to have a spoke shave, but I'd actually given it to my father because I never thought I'd ever use one, and I watch a lot of Wrangler Star, his video, or his channel on YouTube, and he makes a lot of handles, and obviously I'm not even about to try to compare myself to him. He's a master at what he does. But anyways, so I'm going to use the hand plane just to knock these corners down some, and then I'll work on go back to the sander here and get everything all smoothed out, and then we'll be back. So okay, so I got it all cleaned up, and now I've got big hands, so this fits me a lot better, and it gives a little more girth to the saw too, or to the machete, pardon me. So it just makes it feel like you got a better grip, and you know, your hand's not going to slide off now, which is nice. And so now all I got to do is I'm going to take these apart again, and then I'm going to do a final sand to on the outside just to get everything all cleaned up, and then we'll get to putting it together. So back here in a minute. Alright, well, the handles are done and all sanded. I went over them all by hand and got them all cleaned up, and I only use, like anything I make out of wood, I try to use like either vegetable oil or I use linseed oil. That's what I'm using here. This is linseed oil, and I'll put 2 coats on this, and just to really seal the wood up, and it'll give it a really nice look. So see one done here. Does stink actually, this stuff, quite a bit. Want to get them right down in those holes there too. Remember, these were just pieces of hardwood flooring, you know, that were left over from the house and other jobs I've done with people that just throw stuff out, and I take it, and sometimes you can make some beautiful stuff out of it. So there you are. There's one finished and one not, so you can see the difference. It will dry obviously a little different than that. So if you guys want to see that done, just check out the next video, and I'll post it probably shortly after this one, and we'll get the handle on the machete and get it all put back together, and then we'll sharpen it, and we'll take a look at it when it's all finished. So thanks for checking out this video. If you could hit the thumbs up button, that would be greatly appreciated, and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. So have a great day, and we'll talk to everybody soon.